getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think.
Here we go. Welcome to the launch of Wrestle Time with Elo. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate your patience. It's been a long journey for me to get here. A lot of headache, a lot of hard work. Without that man, a lot of this wouldn't have happened. So I'm very appreciative. I'm appreciative of both of you, Jeffrey Lyles, Pretty Boy, Brandon Idol. Thank you so much for joining my first podcast. You don't know how great that makes me feel.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as you both know a little bit about me, I am Elo, owner and host of Wrestle Time with Elo. I'm originally from Queens, New York. I moved to Florida in '88. I started watching wrestling. I want to say, I moved in '88. I want to say because the first match that brought me in, and I believe I told you both, was the Don Morocco and Snuka steel cage match, if you remember that.
Superfly Splash.
Yes.
Off the cage.
Yes. So with that, after that, I noticed Randy Macho Man Savage, and he became just his whole gimmick, his flamboyant outfits. And I mean, it was intriguing to me at 6 or 7. That's, you see that, and you just and then this beautiful woman. It's like Beauty and the Beast, right?
Mhm.
So after that, I was hooked. So that's a little bit of my story of why I have such passion and heart. And I've been in it for years. I've been, behind the scenes, everything you could think of. I've seen it all. So this is where I want to be, and I'm pushing for this. And like I said, I appreciate you all giving me this opportunity and giving me this chance to help promote Wrestle Time with Elo. So
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I'm going to
mentioned
start with you, Brandon, in a little bio so you can introduce yourself to our viewers, subscribers, followers, whatever, and also introduce yourself to Jeffrey.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing, man?
And
Great.
just
How
tell us
about
a little bit about
Good.
yourself. I do remember you saying you were the light heavyweight champion of GCW.
GCWE, Ground Force Championship Wrestling Entertainment.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of information about yourself and how you became into the wrestling industry.
Okay, I wrestle as Pretty Boy Brandon Idol, and I always loved watching it as a kid. And then my grandmother, she had worked at a store with a guy that did security for an independent promotion called XMCW, Extreme Maximum Championship Wrestling. And then I went to one of the events and met the owner, the promoter, and that's how I was able to get trained. And now I run the promotion myself. It's just been a while since I've held an XMCW event, but I'm 30 years old, live here in West Virginia, and a lot of people might be like, well, you got the United Kingdom flag, but I do have some British heritage. So
Absolutely. Hey, that's great.
And there's somebody else that wants to say hello.
I was going to say, there's somebody missing here.
Broomstick.
There he is. Broomstick. There he is. That's amazing. Yep. I love it. Again, that reminds me of, when Hacksaw Jim Duggan with the 2x4 or Al Snow with Head, it just
Yeah.
brings back all those memories. So again, that's great. I love that you brought Broomstick to and introduced him to everybody.
Thank you.
So
You know how
you're with
a lot of
the old era as well, correct? You focus on that.
when I do watch wrestling, it's usually like 70s and 80s NWA or WWF or AWA, Mid South, stuff like that, Memphis, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm absolutely.
Or WWWF, even way back before it was WWF and WWE, even back when it was Capital Wrestling Corporations, when it was still part of the
Oh, wow.
NWA, and then there was the split.
Wow. You guys got that
WWF.
on me.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Jeffrey Lyles, introduce yourself. I know you told me a little bit about how you do all the recreations of, some of the Avengers, the movie, and then you recreate the scenes of some of the golden era. You did the honky tonk with Macho. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, things like that
Sure.
nature.
I'm from Maryland. I've been doing movie reviews since college. I went to Howard University. And from there, I just decided after doing movies for about a decade, I needed to do my own website. So I did that and I was enjoying doing those, but those are once a week and I wanted to do more. So I started doing TV recaps. The Avengers came out and I was like, well, I like action figures, so I could do those too. And wrestling's always been a huge part of my fandom. Like the very first match that I saw in wrestling was Hogan beating Sheik for the belt. So from
Oh,
that moment on, I was just super hooked into everything WWF. I didn't even know there were other promotions until one day watching ESPN and seeing the Von Erich brothers. I was like, who are these guys? They're so cool. It's brothers doing a thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
It
Von Erichs.
got sucked into that. And then AWA was also on ESPN. I was like, where are all these promotions? And it wasn't until 87, like very late 87, like right before Starrcade, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before, where I stumbled onto another network that had NWA playing, and they were hyping up. Ric Flair was like challenging Ronnie Garvin. It was like,
Ronnie
whoa.
Garvin was
Yeah,
his
And the Stone.
right.
was it Sunshine? Was it or Precious?
No, that was Jimmy Garvin. That was his
Okay,
brother.
Jimmy Garvin.
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm celebrating my with the beer. So cheers to Wrestle Time with the Elo's first
There you go.
podcast.
Clink, clink.
Yes. So this last weekend was WrestleMania 39, correct? I believe.
Yeah, it was last weekend. Yes, because I was still in a state of I need to stay away from all the spoilers until I finish watching this 8-hour extravaganza. Remember back in the days when a 4-hour WrestleMania sounded long.
Do you remember back in the day when, because in New York, we didn't have, we had 4 channels. And it was like, you had you could get the pay-per-view, or you could wait and go to whatever video store, but you had to wait like a month.
Oh, months.
And it was like, you would watch prime time or whatever and be like, no, don't tell me what happened. And, they did keep it under wraps really well back then, to where now I don't think that could happen.
Oh, no. But I was right there with you. I watched a whole bunch of those. I had a store called Errol's that I would go to and be like, yes, the new tape's here. And then Blockbuster did a much better job of having.
God forbid somebody in your class got the pay-per-view and saw it. God forbid. But yeah, so I'm sorry, Brent?
Jeffrey, you mentioned doing you used to do movie reviews. Something I was been wanting to mention is there's a movie on Tubi TV that I'm in, as well as my manager and tag team partner, Wild Billy West. It's called The Mountaineer, and Tubi. It's on TV throughout the United States, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. So if y'all want to check out The Mountaineer. Yeah, I play multiple characters in it, and so does my tag team partner, Wild Billy West. It's on Tubi, and it's called The Mountaineer.
I actually took a look at that, Brandon. I actually took a peek of that. Yeah, I did. Interesting. I like the whole it's like a country-ish kind of old school kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep because I wasn't feeling well that day, but I did put it on and I did take a look and I did see you.
How
And
can you fall asleep while looking at me?
I I know, I'm sorry. I was not
It's
feeling
okay.
well that day, but I was like, "Oh, this is a perfect time. I'm in bed." And I waited though. I waited to see you. So you got to give me props there. Because I
Yeah.
was like, I saw you in the beginning and then I saw you towards like the middle, towards the middle of it.
Now,
Um,
Broomstick is also in a movie that Billy West and myself are in. It's called Boxer versus Wrestler. You can find that one online. You'll order
oh,
it online.
yeah, you'll have to tell
Broomstick's
me
in that,
more
and my
about
tag
that.
team partner too.
Boxer versus wrestler. All right.
Yeah,
Jeffrey's taking his notes. I love
I
it.
am.
I love it. I love it. Um,
awesome.
also, so WrestleMania 39, I only watched like little bits and pieces of it.
Uh-huh.
I did see, which I really, really loved. I did see one part where it was Snoop Dogg bringing down Rey Mysterio, and he had the big, Jeffrey, you probably know
The
the
low
big
rider. Yeah.
that Eddie Guerrero used to come out,
Mhm.
Viva la Rasca or whatever, and it gave me chills. It did give me chills, and it felt like they were bringing something back from our era. Um, Again, we used to have special guest referees. We used to have ring announcers. They don't have that anymore. You know, that's the thing I miss. And I think a lot of people out there are missing that, that want that era back. Steel cage matches, the blue steel cage matches. There's nothing I think like those blue steel cage matches. I mean, you take the opponent and you smash his head against the cage and he's busted wide open. Now they have all these
Steel
other,
balls.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but one WrestleMania I do want to talk about, and that's what I wanted to base the podcast on, was WrestleMania 3. Now I wrote some notes down for WrestleMania 3. One of my favorite matches was the Steamboat and Macho match.
Yes.
I mean, again, Macho brought such charisma. He had such a unique style. And then Steamboat was a beast. He had these tactics, this athleticism, and you just fell in. It was almost like watching a soap opera as a female. You got addicted.
Poetry in motion.
There you go. So you all know about WrestleMania, or you're familiar with it. Did any of you have Jeffrey, what was your favorite match?
So it's funny because, like I said, I've been watching. I have all these Blu-rays and that I've been gathering over the years. So I'm right at the tail end of '86 as they start moving into '87. It's crazy how much Vince McMahon and his writing team was setting things up for this March 27th event way back when, because I mean, they had the Steamboat Savage Bell incident back in November. Andre the Giant got his suspension lifted. Yeah, and it's like all that drama to where like Steamboat's acting like he can't talk anymore. And they're like, if he goes
What are you
back in
talking
the
about? He
ring, he
really
might be
couldn't talk.
dead. Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild how much work they put in to building up to WrestleMania. So I'm kind of split because that's one of my favorite shows where they've got one of the best matches of all time with Steamboat and Savage, and then just the huge iconic match where Hogan and Andre are facing off and like all these
Absolutely.
camera flashes are going off because it's like this moment that they built up so well and everybody's like legit
Because
excited and can't wait to see what happens.
you expected to look at this giant, and then you look at Hogan again, he cut the greatest promos and included, the fans, which was great. He got them all riled up. But you look and you go, you're looking and you're going, in actual reality, as a child, you're looking, going, there's no way Hogan's gonna win. He's a giant. He's gonna kill him. And,
Especially after that Saturday night's main event where he busted him open from behind and like headbutted him. It's like, oh no.
yes, yes, and
It was
that's
right before that Hogan Andre headbutted Lanny
Yeah.
Poffo.
Right.
Lanny recently passed away. Lanny was a great guy. I was around him a few times.
Oh, that's
rest
cool.
Kept in touch
easy,
with him over
Lenny
years.
Poffo.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We lost a lot of good ones, a lot of legends. I do have
Bushwhacker
here,
Butch here recently.
He did, yeah.
I do have here my
Nice.
buddy. He was a very good friend of mine, so I'm sharing him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So another match I thought was really interesting was, and Brandon had mentioned this to me on one of our quick Zooms that I forgot about. The Hillbilly Gym, the Tokyo Monster. What was the other one's name?
Little Tokyo.
Kid.
Little Tokyo. And what was the other one's name? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was
I could remember. I've been hitting the head a lot.
Oh, it's driving me nuts.
I can find it. I have it up. Let me just a second here. It was
Little Beaver was in that.
it was Lord Littlebrook, Little Tokyo with King Kong Bundy and the Haitian Kid, Little Beaver with Hillbilly Jim.
And then they were against King Kong Bundy, correct?
He had Tokyo and Lord Littlebrook, but by the end of it, he had no one. It was everybody versus Bundy.
Yeah, the other ones turned on Bundy. Yeah.
And again, Bundy was another one that was huge. You looked at him and thought, who the heck's going to beat this guy? You know, you look at him. Me and my sister used to do a thing when we were younger. We'd say, oh my gosh, in New York, we'd say, if you were in a dark alley and you saw King Kong Bundy or Kamala coming down the alley, who would you be more afraid of? We would do that. I was petrified. I was petrified of King Kong Bundy. I was petrified of Kamala. Yeah, rest in peace. Another one. Horrible. You know, we're losing so many.
Kamala and Bundy.
I do. What other matches did I want to? Oh,
Bulldogs and Santana versus the Hart Foundation and Danny Davis.
Oh,
Billy Jack Haynes,
Davis. He started out as just a referee, correct?
Oh yeah.
And then they worked, you know, he worked his way up. That was
his gimmick was great because he was getting into so much favoritism towards all the heels, and Gorilla Monsoon and Vince McMahon and Bruno would lose their minds, and Jesse and Bob were like, what are you talking about? We don't see anything. And he just kept cheating for the heels, and it was so like, hey, ref, get in there. But they played it perfectly before they finally had to go, all right, we'll need to have people beat him up. So this was his first match.
And that was half of the matches. Do you agree? Was the commentating in the background?
Oh, absolutely.
That they lacked today. I didn't even
watch some of these matches. Like I would watch Challenge and I would sit glued to my TV screen for primetime wrestling because I just love the banner between Gorilla and the Brain or Weasel. And just loved how they played off of each other. And I didn't care if there was a good match, or I'd seen the match on Superstars or Challenge or whatever. Those two were so funny that
I mean, I cried sometimes, you know, just that, oh, shut up, Weasel, you know, just the back and forth was, the commentating was half of the match.
Well, you be serious.
Yeah. He hit him in the bread basket, you know, the words they used, you know, and they don't use that today, the bread basket, you know, all these different terms now. And back then, again, WrestleMania 3, Adonis, he wasn't your typical in shape physique, you know, but he brought character.
Mm-hmm.
They all did.
He brought what kept us as children or, you know, teens or whatever, like, we want to watch this match. This guy is interesting. You know, he may not be one of our favorites, but what the heck is he doing? You know, and then at the end when you didn't expect it. You didn't expect Brutus Beefcake came out and cut his hair because winner got the haircut or loser, right? Correct?
It was well. Why
Yeah.
would you want to win if you're getting your hair cut?
Well, I don't
Win.
know. I
You had that.
forgot,
You had that
Brandon.
bass backwards.
Don't make me take your don't
One,
make me
two,
take
three. I win. Oh no, my head gets shaved.
don't make me take that broomstick and use it. Where's broomstick?
He's over here.
He's on my side. Don't make me take broomstick and whack you. I
And
just
also,
think-
you just
Yeah.
mentioned Beefcake. It was right after that when they started calling him the barber.
yes.
And in 2018, Brutus Beefcake is why my hair on this side is a little bit shorter because he clipped some of my hair.
I think that's an amazing that was amazing when you told me and you waited till the last minute, which I loved. It was like a fun fact, last minute fun fact.
I know how to get myself over.
There you go. Well, you do, or you wouldn't be here on Russell Time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was one of my another favorite match. That just the hair cutting. Do you know of what other ones were? I know the Andre and Hogan when we
That
talked.
Junkyard Dog versus the King Harley Race.
Yep.
What was your take on that? That was different from the
Well, it's funny because I didn't know Harley had this long and luxurious career in the NWA before I saw him in the WWF. So
I didn't know that
this is my
either.
first time seeing him. Yeah, and it's like, man, this guy's really old to be part of the Heenan family, but he could still wrestle, and
He
it
could
was
go.
interesting watching him go
Tough
against
guy.
JYD, who he was never the best wrestler, but he just had the fans in the palm of his hands, and they just were cheering,
he
excited
drew
about
money,
everything he
that's
did.
what matters.
Yeah.
What was this JYD now that we're talking
Uh-huh.
about? Or
Right,
Yeah,
right.
JYD.
And that
he drew
song.
money. That's what matters.
Yep.
the song, grab them cakes.
Yep.
Remember the GRABCAKES?
I'll grab them cakes. Oh, is that all?
I
you
love
do?
when he would bring the little kids out in the ring to dance with him too.
That
Yep.
was the cutest. The cutest. Just like Bret Hart when he would put the sunglasses on the
Uh-huh.
kids. Oh,
That
that was
kid interaction.
yeah, interaction. I think we're missing a lot of that today. I love, if I put it on, I do get, I'm not gonna lie, I do get a little like involved because it's still it's wrestling. It's a passion of mine. I don't think I could ever not.
Well,
Yeah.
today they do interact. They point to the WrestleMania side dramatically.
Yeah, but I miss that. I miss that. Exactly. Like I miss the George the Animal Steel. Now he was in Ricky Steamboat's corner, correct?
Right.
For Mania 3, yeah.
Elizabeth, hey, stop Macho from getting the ring bell. He played a pivotal role in that match.
Yeah, he shoved him off the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would always go after Miss Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Yes, nice, nice, with the green tongue.
Oh yeah.
A great role, a great gimmick. There where I would love, and that's why I want to do this, and I have so much heart and passion. And again, it's gonna take time to build up, but this is it. One step at a time. I love it. I love that we can discuss, WrestleMania and pick out certain matches. They didn't have a Royal Rumble, did they?
No, that was
That
they
was-
didn't start until next year, 89. But I don't think they started putting them out on. I think pay-per-view or big specials was 89.
Mania 3 was 87.
all
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It was 80. It was 88 was the first Rumble, I think.
Okay.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan won that.
Yeah. You're right. Because then Stud won in 89. And
Yeah.
90 was Hogan. And 91 was Hogan again. Yeah.
The Hart Foundation and Danny. We did talk about that.
And they brought
Man.
out Matilda to go after Jimmy Hart.
That's right, Matilda. See, another one, another
Pet
talent.
sidekicks. Gotta have them. It's
You
important
got
back
to.
in the
forget
day.
It's
Don't forget that Alice Cooper was in Jake the Snake Roberts' corner at WrestleMania 3 to take on the Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
yes.
Of course,
With
Jimmy
the
Hart was
Colonel.
in Honky's corner.
Yes, Alice Cooper. Which one was that? That was in 3?
That was in 3, yeah.
Really? I have to do my homework. I thought I did. I wrote all my favorite stuff down. They had now what was her name? Mary Hart,
Uh-huh.
Bob,
Euchre,
Brandon,
Bob
you know,
Oh
Euchre.
yeah,
say
Mr.
I
Baseball.
Bob Euchre, yeah.
and then 4 was the one with Vanna White. For some reason I always get
Yeah, the tournament.
yeah, I always want to put her for some reason. I thought Bob Hubert went after her in 4 for some reason. I don't know
He
why.
did. Bob Euchre, he kept
Euchre,
chasing
sorry.
after Vanna White. Yeah,
So he was in 2?
He was
he was in
around for a
WrestleMania
bunch
3
of
and
them.
4.
Yeah, he was a regular for the first few WrestleManias.
He was
That's what I meant.
hilarious.
Yeah, he
That's what I
When
meant.
was.
Andre choked him at Mania 4, the look on his
Right,
face.
right. I think that may have been his last one, right?
That was again, like I said, the one like WrestleMania 4 is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 4 is a lot of our old era fans. It's a lot of their favorites as well. That's why I wanted to pick another favorite of mine because WrestleMania 3 is really, I think people forget the matches that were involved in it, and so it's not brought up as much. The Piper was on the mic. He was great
Yeah.
on the mic. He was great on the mic. Hogan was great on the mic. Now George the Animal Steel, we had to figure out what he was saying, but that's what made it great. Yeah, Macho was another one. Love him to death. He did okay, but he didn't have to really do great on the mic because his charisma and what he brought and his style. The song,
His charisma was off the charts. Like, his promos are really funny because he'll start off with that low murmur, and then he starts raising the intensity. It's like he's taking you on this ride before he just finally erupts and goes off. Take it!
yes,
And he
and the
just blows
turning
off the
around
commentator
with
when he
the
walks off.
finger.
Yeah, the whole
the-
deal.
Roller coaster ride on them
And he would
promos.
always kind of come in from the side so you could see the back of his robe or jacket. He'd make a huge thing. Like he made sure everything was a real presentation with him
Yes, he would
right
do
from
the
the beginning.
turnaround. Remember the turnaround with his finger
Oh yeah.
and the grinding of the teeth and it was great. It was WrestleMania was or WrestleMania 3. Yeah, that the hand gesture at WrestleMania 3 is one of my favorites. We will next time I would love to have more ideas. You all have my information. Reach out to me, say hey, this is a good idea. Jeffrey, I'm still going to use a lot of your stuff. I really really like your creations. I will always credit you, always. Brandon, I love the whole broomstick thing. Thank you for bringing broomstick on here so
Thank you.
everybody that watches this can see that. And again, I really appreciate you guys coming on, and I hope to have you back in the future.
Sure.
I really do. I really do.
Definitely.
We can have a lot of fun. We'll get, especially if we get like one more person that we can debate with on different types of matches. And we're not always going to do WrestleManias. We're going to do SummerSlams. We're going to do Royal Rumbles, Saturday night main events. We're going to do specific talents. Somebody had reached out to me and said, don't forget the female wrestlers. And of course,
Yes.
absolutely, we will bring them in one step at a time. There were some amazing talents in the 80s and 90s as far as female talents, and they will be a part of Wrestle Time with Elo. So
Sweet.
I don't want to take up your guys' whole night. I thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. I will be in touch. Please keep in mind to reach out. I will be doing, to start out, probably 1 or 2 a week just to get my feet wet. So if you have an idea of a match or something that you want to talk about or a specific talent from that era, please feel free reach out to me, reach out to Adam. He's amazing with communication. He's amazing with editing, anything you need. So feel free. And again, thank you for helping me promote Wrestle Time. And I will be sure to give back the same with you both. And Broomstick. We can't forget Broomstick. You gotta show Broomstick. Do you see Broomstick, Jeffrey?
Oh yeah.
And Jeffrey, I'm sorry of the miscommunication if we may have had. I was just, like I said, there's so much going on here in the place with the renovation. So it was hard for me
Oh, that's fine.
to get. But again, thank you for joining
Absolutely.
me tonight. And
The
I
first
hope,
episode is in the books.
Right.
yes, in the books. And this will be ready in about it's probably 2 days. I will give you guys the link, whatever information. Take a look and see how we did. Your feedback will be well appreciated.
All right.
And you guys have a good night.
You too.
Again for
Good
joining.
meeting you, Brandon
Thank you. Nice meeting you too, Jeffrey.
and Broomstick.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Broomstick said nice
Thank
meeting you too. Have a good night, everybody.
You too. There you have it, guys. That's a wrap. I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Pretty Boy Brandon Idol, Broomstick, and Jeffrey Lyles for being a part of the launching of Wrestle Time with Elo. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below. Give me some feedback. I always get back to my followers and subscribers. Give me some ideas. Give me some itinerary, something you'd like to discuss, an event, a specific talent, certain matches. I will get back to you. I am open to many ideas. Again, thank you so much for your support. This is just the first of many amazing podcasts. And as always, at Wrestle Time with Elo, we always keep it raw, real, and 100. Green light, baby. Let go.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this.